Shout out to the Johnson family for giving me the green light and allowing me to do whatever it is I want to do with information on Bumpy Johnson. See, the difference between over here and Hollywood is I'm giving you the info directly how it happened. There's no twist to it. There's no agenda. Bumpy lived an exciting life, and you don't have to fabricate it. Now, out of all the wars, all the battles, all the gangster stuff that he was into, everything that he did, he died from a heart attack. Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson was an all gas, no brakes type of dude. He was just out kicking it till 3 a.m. Now he's back up at 5:30 a.m. like his normal Saturday. Back up at 5:30 and out of the door by 6:30 a.m. Now he's starting his day, making his rounds and taking care of business. Went by his number spots just to check and make sure that everything was good. Then he stopped over at 22 West around noon. This was his usual routine. He didn't make it back home till around 7 p.m. and Mamie made him one of his favorite dishes, a hot plate of chicken and dumplings. Now, she was just about to take the phone off the hook because she wanted some private time with her husband and wanted him to finally relax. See, Bumpy started looking pale and just looking exhausted. As soon as she grabbed the phone rang. She picked it up and didn't even say hello. She said, "He's not home," and slammed the phone down. Bumpy looked up from his plate and said, "Now what if that was something important?" Mamie fired back and said, "That wasn't nobody important. It was probably somebody asking about some money, somebody wanting you to settle some stupid argument, something that they can handle themselves, or somebody wanting you to come out and go gambling again." Bumpy just laughed. Lawrence Welk was on, and he really loved this ragtime pianist, Joanne Castle, who was on the show that night. The show went off, and Margaret came in the room and said that she wanted to go to some carnival in New Jersey in the morning. So Bumpy said, "Mamie, give her some money tomorrow so her and her friends can have a good time." This was around 9 p.m. They went to bed, and Bumpy was restless. After tossing and turning for a while, he finally got up and said, "You know what? I'm about to go out for a while. I can't sleep." He started dressing, and then he opened up the dresser drawer and counted about $500 bills. "There's a skin game on the avenue. I'm about to go check it out." Mamie asked him, was he sure? "Because you're not looking too well." Bumpy said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm feeling fine. I'll be back." She said, "You don't look fine," as she followed him to the door. Bumpy looked at her real funny and said, "I'm fine. You worry too much." She told him again, "You don't look fine," as she started to tear up. You see, Mamie had mastered the art of tearing up in front of Bumpy. Bumpy was a sucker for tears. So anytime the waterworks came or looked like they were about to come, Mamie always got her way. Bumpy smiled and grabbed her by the waist and said, "If I wasn't fine, would I be able to do this?" Started dancing with her, humming, twirling her around in the living room. As he sang to her, she laughed and poked fun at his singing abilities. She told him, "You sound like a crow with a sore throat." Bumpy stopped mid-step and looked like he was hurt. All in jokes. "Here I am trying to serenade you, and you making fun of my voice." He released her and started doing the black bottom, the snake, and a bunch of other dances from the 20s and 30s. Dances that were in vogue when he was in his heyday. Now the two laughing, and Bumpy said, "Yeah, I may not be able to sing, but I sure can dance." He kissed her on the cheek and made his escape. Mamie still didn't want him to go, but she accepted it. They lived on the 17th floor, the penthouse floor. But when the elevator reached the 10th floor, the doors opened up and Junie got on, another one of Bumpy's childhood friends. He was a silent owner of the Rhythm Club up on 133rd Street. Junie looked at Bumpy and said, "Man, you look like hell." He punched the already lit lobby button and said, "Where the hell you going?" Bumpy said, "You know where I'm going." Junie said, "I know where you should be going. Man, carry your ass to bed." Bumpy said, "There's a skin game on 7th Avenue, and I'm feeling lucky." And then Bumpy got serious for a second. He looked at Junie and said, "If something ever happens to me, I need you to take care of Mamie and the family." Junie said, "What are you talking about? When you get locked up, don't I take care of them? All the charges and the stuff that they're trying to put on you, none of it's going to stick." Bumpy said, "No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, if something happens to me for real." Junie said, "Something like what?" Bumpy blocked the door, preventing Junie from exiting. Bumpy said, "I need you to promise me, if something happens to me, that you're going to take care of them." The two began cussing each other out, and then they both exited the elevator. Junie knew what Bumpy was talking about, but he didn't want to have the conversation about his friend possibly dying. Bumpy said, "You my man and you can't make me a promise like that?" He responded and said, "MFer, we've been together since we were kids. You already know I got you." He said, "Man, I'm going to give you a ride to the game. It's only a couple of blocks away." Bumpy got to the game, and this cat named Frisco Patty, a con man from California, was at the game. Less than 3 hours later, Bumpy didn't have but $38 left out of the $500 he took from his crib. After taking L after L, Bumpy got up and said, "Man, I'm getting up out of here. I'll be damned if I let you take all my money." This was around 1:30 a.m. He said, "Yeah, I'm out of here too." Frisco Patty said, "Hold up. I need to talk to you." Bumpy said, "About what?" "A friend of mine wants to open up a number spot over on St. Nick." "St. Nicholas?" "Nah, that territory belongs to my man, Chink Cunningham. I can't let you just cut in on his action." Patty said, "Well, my friend already got the okay from the east side," referring to the Italians. Bumpy said, "F them Italians." He said, "Yeah, that's why my friend asked me to talk to you." "You smarter than what I gave you credit for," Bumpy told him. "Come on, let's go over to Wells Restaurant. I'm hungry. Let's talk business over a meal." Wells Restaurant was the kicking spot. It was opened up by Joseph Wells in 1938. This was the place if you were a pimp, a gambler, a con man, a gangster, whatever. This is where you went. Bumpy got to the restaurant around 2 a.m. and he waved at his boy Finley and his other buddy JJ, both who were standing at the bar. "Man, what you doing here?" Finley said I cleaned them out early. There were some high rollers at the game, but they left early because your ass wasn't here. Bumpy said I can't be everywhere at once. I could have used you tonight, though. Bumpy sat down and ordered a coffee and ordered some of his favorite foods, a chicken leg and some hominy grits. Once the food arrived, as soon as Bumpy was about to start eating, he grabbed his chest, grimaced, and fell out flat. Bumpy Johnson suffered a massive heart attack and passed away at the age of 62. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And let me know what you think in the comment section. Please follow the History with No Chaser Facebook and Instagram pages.